What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and this is my Extreme Rules 2016 review. This is, as a recording this is Wednesday, 3 days after the pay-per-view, 2 days after Raw, a day after the SmackDown tapings, I guess, but, who cares? Um, but my overall thoughts of Extreme Rules. A good show. It was a good show. I call it a good show because mainly because of two balls to the wall epic matches. And I'll get to them in order. But first, the kickoff show, because we got to do this one by one. The kickoff show was the blow off to Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Well, at least I think was the blow off. Although after Raw, probably not. It was a no disqualification match. It was your average. It was your average, kickoff match. Not good, but not bad either. It was okay. Baron Corbin won with a low blow, and maybe after the end of the days, the match barely went by for me. But it was an okay match from what I remember. Probably, right down the middle. The next match now we opened up the actual pay-per-view. Now the next match was it was what was the opening match? Oh yeah. No wonder why I don't remember, because it was barely announced the day before or a couple days before on SmackDown. It was yet another tag team match between Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson and the Usos. That's right, the Usos. So we have yet another match involving these guys, and I was hoping to God, and this is my prediction when I found out about this match. I was hoping to God that that the Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows would win, because I've seen their work in Japan. They're pretty damn awesome. Especially Carl Anderson, but Doc Gallows, Doc Gallows then really improved, and now is Luke Gallows. So with that said, with that said, with that said, it's just, why would you constantly book these guys to lose or take the pinfalls during matches on Raw and SmackDown? It happened like 2 to 3 weeks in a row. It was bullshit. Bullshit. But now they at least somewhat redeemed themselves, because they actually had a good first pay-per-view outing. It was a Texas Tornado tag team match. Anderson and Gallows won after the Magic Killer. And there was a pretty sick spot in the beginning, though, I have to say. It was the Boot of Doom. But it was the Boot of Doom, and after Anderson hit the move, he jumped from the apron, he hit the Boot of Doom on one of the Usos while he was on Luke Gallows. But when he hit the move, one of the Uso brother, when they usually twirled around, he hit the barricade. So that was kind of a sick spot. So, good match there. Good way to start off the pay-per-view, the actual pay-per-view. Next match was... God, my eyes. Oh, shit. Next match was Kalisto versus Rusev. Good showings from these guys. The problem is the match only went like 7 minutes. So, which really confuses me, considering this is supposed to be a 3-hour show. And I'll explain why. God, my eyes. Sorry about that, guys. My eyes are fucking killing me. I don't know what it is. Then again, I just woke up like a couple hours ago, so maybe that's why. So, a decent showing from both competitors. Kalisto's first and only pay-per-view title defense, technically, because all the other times he defended the title, it was on the pre-show. Pre-show Fastlane. Pre-show of WrestleMania. Pre-show of Payback. Only now does he actually get the actual main event, actually get on the pay-per-view, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's losing the title. If this is on the actual pay-per-view, he's losing the title to Rusev. So there's that. I went 6-7 in my predictions. I got every prediction right except one. I'll explain later. Um, in a few minutes. So decent match with Rusev and Kalisto, but not like totally great. Not on just like a notch below Gallows and Anderson, which was definitely good. It was all right. I think if it went on a few more minutes, it would have been really good. Um, the next match was the shortest match of the entire night, which I don't know whether or not it's an indictment on the guys or I don't know what. I don't know, but it was the New Day. It was New Day versus the Vaudevillains. New Day defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Vaudevillains. Um, and what is likely to be the Vaudevillains' only goal to actually get WWE Tag Team Gold. Um, well, this match was mediocre. It was not. It was like a. It like okay like how can I say this? Like you know how the 2.5 star ratings like the average rating like split down the middle. It's like a little below average. It's not. It wasn't bad. It wasn't shit. I'll say that it definitely was not a piece of shit. But the problem was it was given only 6.5 minutes. Vaudevillains given time were actually good. Don't believe me? Watch their match with Blake and Murphy at Takeover Brooklyn last year. That was a good match. Um, just man, and the New Day. This was not just an indictment on Vaudevillains. It was an indictment on the New Day because they didn't have enough time to really perform. And I'll tell you why they didn't because of what happened later on. I will say the next match, awesome, best match of the night. Which is weird because it is also the only match where I got my prediction wrong. So, best match of the night. And, it was the, Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way match. It was The Miz against Cesaro, against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Those guys in a Fatal 4-Way match. This was a fucking fantastic match. This is one of the best Fatal 4-Way matches I've ever seen. It's not like up there, like with the best of the best. Well, it is, but I mean like, just like, but it was like a little below. I would still put the Fatal 4-Way, from Takeover Fatal 4-Way with Tyson Kidd, Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, and Tyler Breeze above it. As well as the Fatal 4-Way between Chris Jericho, Pitbull number 2, Shane Douglas, and Too Cold Scorpio. Which is weird because by far Chris Jericho was the best, and the others, and I don't really know too much about them. I know about Shane Douglas and Too Cold Scorpio, but I mean like I've never seen too much of their work. Okay, anyways, going off topic. Still, what a fucking fantastic match. This was fucking great. And I rewatched the match. I made sure to rewatch it yesterday. It was still goddamn awesome. The storytelling with all the guys, Maurice interfering was very minimal. Thank God it was only reduced to one thing instead of being a constant shit-on distraction like it was last year with Randy Orton and the Shield members, Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins for the WWE title. Thank God that did not happen. So anyways, there we go. Anyways, great match. Cesaro, if I had to choose like the one man who like defined like most of the work here. All of them did a lot of work, but if I had to do the one man, it would have to be Cesaro. He did a lot of the work here, and Cesaro. Sorry about that. You know, Cesaro right now is on a roll. Hopefully, WWE is consistently booking him right, and maybe not putting him in the WWE World Title picture now. We're past that point, but maybe like a real strong mid Carter with the every once in a while chance at the WWE title. That would be awesome. But you know, it would just be you know very awesome to see him booked that way. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, either one, they're both going to win the WWE title. That's a fact. Miz, never again, because we saw what happened last time. But still, great match. Miz won after Cesaro he countered him and put him over the top rope outside. Sami Zayn hit the haluva kick, but then Kevin Owens rolled him out, and Sami Zayn was incensed that he almost had the title. And instead of going back in and trying to finish the job of Cesaro and just beating down Kevin Owens a little bit, he fucking went into a rage and just beat down Owens as much as he could. And it cost him because Miz ended up covering Cesaro for the win. Which, I guess, you could say, like, wait a minute, wait a minute, why would Cesaro stay down that long? And then I think to myself, he was hit by skull-crushing finale, he was hit by a pop-up powerbomb, and now he's hit by a haluva kick. I think we can give him a break on that one. He was done after that. But still, great match. If I had to choose who would win, who will be the next Intercontinental Champion, I'm going to go put my money on Cesaro, because Owens and Zayn have their feud going. They don't need the title. Cesaro, however, this is a guy who could really benefit from having the title, especially the way it's being booked right now. So, end of the match. Thankfully, JBL wasn't too horrible. But, next match was definitely not the worst match of the night, but the most disappointing. It was Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose in the first ever steel cage asylum match. Basically, it's a black steel cage match, except you can't go out through the doors, and there's weapons all above. So remember Lethal Lockdown and how whenever all the members would be in, the roof would lower and there would be weapons? Similar to that. So, the problem with this... Okay, so here's the thing. Several spots in this match were good. They did good work here. There was one little problem, though. The match went way too long. It went about 26 minutes, if I remember correctly. That is way too long for a match with Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose. And that's not an indictment on either of them. It's just that it wasn't like an Extreme Rules match where they could do several things. That was left up to Styles and Reigns. These guys were stuck in a steel cage. If this match was shaved 8 to 10 minutes and given to the women's match, which I'll explain, I think it would have been a better match, and the women's match would have been a better match. Yeah?
I need to get my clothes and stuff.
Okay, hold up. Let me just get my little recording thing in the other room. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. My sister is visiting from California. She's going to be moving in with us, but right now she's using my room to do stuff. So, anyways... back to the review. Yeah, kind of on the fly kind of thing. But, back to the review. It was an okay match. I loved it when Chris Jericho said that he would get the referee. That was awesome.
The best part of this match was the ending. When Dean Ambrose countered a code breaker and threw him onto thumbtacks. So, harboring back to Mick Foley days. Thumbtacks, that's right. And then he hit the not the skull crushing finale. I should be ashamed of myself I even said that. He hit the Dirty Deeds to Jericho on the thumbtacks. And Dean Ambrose is your winner. This was an okay match. I'm gonna give it like 2.5 stars, like, for my rating. And you'll see all my ratings down in the index box, like you should. But like in most of my other videos, but still, it's just you need it. You can't give there's certain guys you can't give too much time to. And Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, I knew had a couple flaws because I'd expected them to have a great match at Payback, and they just had a pretty good match. So there's that. It was just a stipulation and how much time it was given. I think if it was given about 8 to 10 minutes lower than how much time it got, it would have been fine. And they sped things up a little bit. So second to last match on the show, Charlotte defending her WWE Women's Championship against Natalya in a submission match. I expected this to be a real good match. This was an okay match. It was like Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, but yet again, the booking is what made it suffer. So Natalya had Charlotte in the sharpshooter. This match, by the way, this match went. Oh, I'll say it in a second. So, anyways, Charlotte had Natalya in the sharpshooter. Now the problem is, Ric Flair's music started playing, and the stipulation was if Ric Flair came out he was banned from ringside. If he came out to ringside at any point in the match, Charlotte would immediately vacate and relinquish the WWE Women's title to Natalya. Now, we saw the Ric Flair row, we saw Blonde, so we thought it was Flair. I knew for a fucking fact it wasn't Flair because just look at him. Now, instead, we got Dana Brooke, because remember, Emma got injured. So instead of making her Dana Brooke, her Emma's friend, because Emma's hurt, they made Dana Brooke Charlotte's friend. And they decided to just put Dana Brooke in Ric Flair's place, especially after seeing what happened last night on Raw. Or the other night on Raw, not last night. Well, like I said, it's Wednesday, not Tuesday. But still, wow. And after that, it was after the distraction, Charlotte got the figure 8 after a few seconds or so, made Natalya tap, new WWE Women's Championship. God damn it. This booking suffered. This booking was shitty. I didn't like it at all. Because all this does... You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me a fucking hell of a lot of Seth Rollins' WWE title reign last year. Where the way he would win matches, he would never win any matches strong. He would always have help. The only match he ever won strong, or actually won clean, was the match with Dean Ambrose in the ladder match. That was the only one. And, well, yeah, that was the only one. Charlotte, ever since her reign began as a heel, has always won cheaply. Which, I get it. She's a heel, but she needs clean wins. She has not had one her entire reign as Divas / Women's Champion. TLC, Ric Flair helped her out in what I would call the double turn against Paige, although Paige was still kind of a bitch. At the Royal Rumble, Flair threw his jacket at Becky Lynch's head. At Fastlane, that was her only clean win. The Brie Bella win at Fastlane. And And I don't, it's like, it doesn't mean much because it's fucking Brie Bella. It's not like you're going against someone who actually matters, like Natalya. Speaking of which, after that, someone who matters. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte at WrestleMania. If you were going to do a triple threat match, have somebody, even if Charlotte won, have her win clean. No, instead, she got Becky Lynch in the figure 8, and Ric Flair physically prevented Sasha Banks from getting back in the ring. So, another not so clean win. And then, Extreme Rules, the fucking retarded Montreal finish that WWE did just because they're assholes. And because they're Hearts and Neidharts. It's Natalya Neidhart. Seriously, what the hell is Jim the Anvil do to you? So anyways, another fucking... This is just barreling down the train of a woman who cannot win on her own. And even Byron Saxton said it correctly the other night. This is a woman who is allergic to winning on her own. God, it's just... I hope she gets a clean win against somebody who matters. But this is just fucking pissing me off. Anyways. Main event. AJ Styles against Roman Reigns. WWE Championship, Extreme Rules. This was a great match. Still a great match. Definitely one of the better... AJ Styles' best match since he got to WWE. The problem? It was marred by one fucking thing. No, it wasn't the Usos interference. It wasn't the Gallows and Anderson interference. It wasn't, well, and that is an indictment, but it wasn't that bothered me. What bothered me was the fucking Super Reigns. We already have Super Cena. We don't need Super Reigns. So here's what happened. Great match, by the way. Brawl around the arena. 6 spots from AJ Styles. Like that awesome backdrop onto the other table, which he really landed on his ass, not his back. But yeah, Styles killed himself to make Reigns look good. Anyway, to the finish. So they hit the Boot of Doom, Gallows and Anderson do, on Reigns, and Styles doesn't get the win. However, the Usos do the same to AJ Styles with the double super kick and the splash from the top rope. Reigns doesn't get the win. That I'm cool with because that kind of makes sense and plays into the story. What doesn't play into the story is when Styles hits the Styles Clash on Reigns. Reigns kicks out. Okay? Fair enough, that happens. Styles then hits the Styles Clash on Reigns on a steel chair. Reigns kicks out. Then AJ Styles goes fucking ballistic, which, by the way, that moment was awesome, when he hits Reigns and both the Usos with one steel chair, and whacking the ever-loving shit out of all 3 of them. Especially Reigns. He hits Reigns like 10 times with a steel chair. Goes to the ring apron, goes for a phenomenal forearm. Reigns, the fucking Super Reigns, hits AJ Styles with a spear. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That was the only spear he did the entire match. It's like if I tried to... It's like, say, my finisher. Say my finisher was... I don't know, not an RKO. I do not want to remind people of that. Say my finisher was the Asai DDT. Ultimo Dragon's move. And Kalisto's move, the Samurai del Sol. I hit 5 of them on Super Cena. Cena still kicks out. He hits 1 AA on me, and I can't kick out. What the fuck? Why? It was a great match, but stop with the Super Reigns bullshit. Because that's what fucking pisses us off. Anyways, going on from that, the only thing worth saying after that was the return of Seth Rollins. Now, this was big. Seth Rollins returned after the match and hit Roman Reigns with a pedigree. Seth Rollins is declaring that the other night on Raw, he wants a shot at Roman Reigns' title because it's a title, like, by the way, he never lost to somebody else. He remains to be a heel. Let's see how long it lasts. Because remember, my bet is on Roman Reigns turning heel this year.